Have you ever stopped to think, why does the figure of Judas evoke such discomfort even today? When we hear Judas Iscariot, our minds immediately think of betrayal, shame, and sin. But is this story only about betrayal? Or is there a human and spiritual side we've forgotten to look at? Today, we're going to talk about personal growth. Yes, from his story, Judas, because even the deepest fall can hide an invitation to consciousness. Judas didn't just appear out of nowhere. He was one of the 12 disciples chosen by Jesus. Yes, chosen. Why would Jesus choose him? He participated in miracles, walked beside the light, heard the most powerful words in history. But even so, he fell. And here is the first great lesson. Being close to the light doesn't guarantee we're seeing. How many times are we in positive environments, around good people, with beautiful opportunities, and still make choices that move us away from our true selves? Judas, maybe like many of us, was physically present but internally lost. Reflection. Are you truly present in your journey, or just following along with everyone else? Betrayal doesn't start with the act. It starts in the mind, in the heart. Judas gradually disconnected from Jesus' spiritual message. Maybe he became frustrated. Maybe he expected a more political, revolutionary Messiah. And this teaches us something fundamental. Internal disconnection is silent, but devastating. How many times have you been disappointed by someone, just because that person didn't meet your expectations? How many times have you betrayed your own values because of a wounded pride? Judas' betrayal is the mirror of our own inner conflict. Judas sold Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. But was it really about the money? In the tradition of the time, 30 silver coins were the price of an ordinary slave. In other words, Judas reduced a spiritual master to a minimum value. And here's where we need to stop and think. How many times have we devalued something or someone immense simply because we were confused inside? Sometimes we betray our principles for small things. The need to please. A quick recognition. An easy shortcut. Reflection. Have you been trading valuable things for crumbs? For coins that aren't worth what you're losing? At the moment when Judas hands over Jesus, Jesus looks at him and says, "Friend, why have you come?" Yes, Jesus calls him friend. This is incredibly deep. Even knowing the betrayal, Jesus doesn't confront him with anger. He recognizes him as a human being, as a soul in process. Perhaps there was one last chance for reconnection. Forgiveness doesn't need to be shouted. Sometimes it's in the gaze. And you? How do you react when someone betrays you? Do you close off? Or try to understand? After betraying Jesus, Judas was overwhelmed by guilt. He tried to return the money, he couldn't. And then, he took his own life. This is the darkest part of the story. But it's also where a great reflection lies. Guilt can destroy us, or transform us. Have you ever carried such a heavy burden inside that you felt there was no way out? Many people today are like Judas, punishing themselves in silence, emotionally flagellating themselves for past mistakes. Reflection. Are you allowing yourself to start over? Or are you trying to erase pain with more pain? What if Judas had asked for forgiveness? What if he had waited just a little longer? Would Jesus have forgiven him? The answer is clear. Jesus had already forgiven him. The problem is that Judas couldn't forgive himself. Divine forgiveness already exists. What's missing is the human permission to accept it. How many times have you not been able to move forward, not because of others, but because of yourself? Judas' story has been marked as the story of the traitor. But what if we reframe it? What if this story is actually an alert about self-awareness, about the dangers of losing touch with ourselves, about how easy it is to fall when we're disconnected from our truth? Spirituality isn't a straight line. It's a path with curves, falls, and returns. Judas fell. But perhaps our mission is not to repeat what he lived, or to find redemption where he couldn't see the way out. Growing isn't about avoiding mistakes. Growing is about facing mistakes and learning from them. Judas is not a character of the past. He's an archetype that lives in each of us in moments of doubt, fear, vanity, and conflict. But the final choice is ours. We can repeat the pain, or we can transform the pain into wisdom. If this reflection touched you, subscribe to the channel. Here, we talk about spirituality with truth, acceptance, and courage, because the world already has enough judgment. What's missing is consciousness. See you in the next video. And remember, even betrayal can be the beginning of forgiveness.